Time to call a meeting to order. Hello, hello. Okay, all right.
We hear you.
All right. Adequate notice of this meeting to be held on November 12, 2019 at 7 p.m. in Edison Township Council Chambers has been provided by publication in the Home News Tribune, the Star Ledger, the Criterion, the Sentinel, Tap into Edison, and to the Municipal Clerk of Edison Township and WCTC Radio and Cablevision of Raritan Valley. All right, we can start off with the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, approval of the minutes from the last meeting.
Roll call? We don't do a roll call?
Yes, that, all right.
No, they've never done a roll call.
No, we've never done that before. Yeah,
We usually, well, we used to in other boards, but not this.
okay, all right, that's fine. We're looking for the approval of the minutes, of the previous minutes, so you can take a few minutes and look over that.
I just wanted to say something about the minutes of July. We had postponed approving these because there was some discussion regarding the change to the BCB Bank, in that some of our board members remembered it being approved and then it wasn't, and there's been some discussion about that. We did receive some information regarding it. However, I didn't think the clips were very helpful. I was actually one of those that actually do remember that the board did approve making the move. However, I can't prove it. I went back in my notes, and I guess and this is on me, that I did not take as good a notes that month as I thought I had. So I just wanted to say that I'm still not convinced about this, so that's all I have. I know, and I did see the two clips, but and it was just clips, and I have not watched the whole thing, and at this point, I'm not going to. I'm just not convinced that that's too helpful.
At this particular meeting, later on, if everyone would like to vote on it again, you may.
Well, no, we're voting on the minutes now. I just wanted to say
Yeah.
that about.
So you're not.
I would say
all right.
there is no need to vote for it right now because we talked it in
No, we're not
September
talking about
meeting.
voting on the, not
talking
on
about
the
the
bank.
minute-
We're
the
just talking
minutes
about
with
the
the
minutes.
necessary
And
corrections.
the reason we didn't approve the minutes from July previously was because of that discussion, and I just wanted to put my thoughts on that on the record as we're going to vote on the July minutes. That's all. Any other comments?
You talking about the July minutes?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, just the July minutes. We do 1 month at a time.
All right. All I had was October.
Did you read them, or do you want to call for a vote?
Wait a minute, wait 1 minute. I was, my mistake, I was with the September. I didn't have the July in front of me. Let me look at July again. What section was July, was it in?
Section 6, comments, paragraph. I think what we can do is that we can revise it so that you can say, it's me who said that board never approved this one, and then something like that one, so that you leave it as open, right? Would that be okay with you?
I don't know if you want to approve the July minutes then until you get it correct. Do you?
I'm not sure at this point that it can be corrected to what I think it should be, so I'm not sure it's worth holding up July minutes. I mean,
All right.
I don't have to vote for it, I can always abstain. So it can be, up to the rest of the board's decision as to what to do on the minutes as a whole.
Right, I would agree, because I meant to look at the tapes to see the entire thing, because I also thought that we had voted on it. So perhaps we can approve the July minutes and almost
Without the BCB.
Right.
We'll review that at another time. We'll put the all right, we'll move the BCB minutes to our next meeting. But the rest of the July minutes, I would like to have a motion on. Other than
I
that,
don't know if we can do that.
you don't know if we can do that?
Yes, sir.
You can approve it with a caveat, essentially. You can approve the meetings with a caveat that the issue of whether the board approved moving to BCB or not is outstanding, but you're still approving the minutes as a whole.
All right, sir, I'll go with the caveat.
Okay?
I have to abstain, I wasn't at that meeting.
All right. All right, so
So do
you
we
can
need
make
a
a
motion?
motion.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for July with the caveat that we eliminate any reference to the vote for BCB Bank.
And I'll second it.
At least a second. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any
All
opposed?
right.
And abstentions.
Abstention.
Any abstentions? Oh, sorry.
I have two.
No, I'll do that without that.
Oh, okay.
All right, all right, so now we get to the September meeting, the September minutes. All right. Can I get approval of the September minutes?
I'll make a motion, we approve the September minutes as given to us.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, so may it be. All right, we're getting to the financial report, the trustee account. Any questions? I know we don't. I just want to know if anybody had any questions. I know we don't have to approve them. Okay. Now, we have the approval of the bill listings. Okay.
So, is October 1st?
I see about the mileage reimbursements, or for traveling to where?
Probably back and forth to the branches. I'll make a motion that we approve the bill listing for October.
October or September?
No, I only have
September.
October and November. Do we have September too?
Yes.
Yes, we have to do September 1st.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, here it is, September 2019.
You lost it.
Well, it's for the September, okay. September listing for October.
Oh, right, okay, sorry.
Okay, so I'll make a motion, we approve these.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have to do approval of the encumbrances.
October, you have to do it October.
Okay, October's. Let's spread these out just right.
I had a question about October. On the second page, 2 items. I don't understand. I'm seeing some of the other legal services, but for this particular PO, it's much more, $1,549.28. Does anybody,
In September?
this is for October
That's from October to
2019.
November. We want to get the September one out the way first, all right?
It is.
Oh, I thought we just did that.
Oh, we did that?
We just did that.
approved that? Okay, all right, so we're going to October?
Yeah,
So-
I'm on October 2019 bill listing for November 2019 Library Board meeting. And I'm talking about on the second page, there are 2 items, one for Shane Schaefer, and it just seems like it's much higher than other.
Another one on the first page, too, for Shane,
Yeah.
Right, but that's a lower amount.
234.
And the other question I have is, the second item on page 2 is, Sage Architects, I guess, payment completion for architecture project for Main Library, the presentations, $3,735. So I just question those 2 expenditures.
Okay. The first one for the legal services is I think we have a meeting with the union. They request a meeting with them. So the lawyer has to come here to have a meeting. And also there are some personnel issues we need to discuss. And I think we can move to the closed session and we can say more about that.
Okay,
And
thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then for the payment for the architect, that's what we did at the early of this year when we have make the blueprint for the May. And remember, I showed you that map at the beginning of this year. And that's also, they come here to do the presentation.
So that's what they charge to do the presentation?
And also the blueprints. They came to investigate the whole building and they gave us the plan. Remember, I gave for the upstairs, for the multipurpose room and also the office, and also they investigate the whole building, actually. They gave us the blueprints.
Yes,
That's the
and I
money they
understand, I
charged.
guess that's what that is, but
I
if
didn't
they were
authorize
just
it.
coming here to give us an estimate on what their recommendations are,
They
I'm
don't give us
surprised, number one, that
estimate.
they're charging us, and number two, I don't remember ever approving anything.
Well, I
For-
don't know about the second part, but that's very commonplace. An architectural firm won't come in and not charge because they're actually, they're
And
kind
when
of
did we
designing
approve
it.
that?
That's the second part I don't know about.
I know you wanted to bring them in and you had a presentation, and I remember the presentation very well, but I don't recall any board approval on that expenditure.
I think that's under 10,000, that you don't need to, I just show you that, and then I think you can discuss. I mean, that's the plan we did at the beginning of this year, we already did that. And when we start to do the investigate for the whole plan for the renovation, and that's part of it.
That's part of the earlier year, we discussed that one, how we can renovate the library and then try to figure
Yes,
out
and there
what
was,
we
and there
want
was,
to do.
Yes,
there was a lot of discussion about that, but there was never a decision or board approval to go ahead with that, especially without having a strategic plan in place.
I
There
thought
was-
that was part of the process to find that strategic plan, right? Like, you want to have someone to take a look and give you the idea. That's my understanding.
Well, I think it was after they made the presentation that the Facilities Committee was formed. So maybe it's a good thing that we have a
Yeah.
Facilities Committee because we don't want to be doing these little piecemeal expenses. So that is good, but thank you for that.
And also when we approve for the office, remember in April, that is the prepare for that part also. If you don't have those, how can you approve the office?
We didn't
and
approve,
other-
we did not approve
We
an
need-
office.
You approved the office.
No, we did
No, we
not.
at
did
that
not.
time.
No, we did not.
we did, but we changed on, excuse me, sir, we changed on the office. Went back and because we did not, because no building or anything was supposed to go forward until because the Facilities Committee said that all the buildings have to be up to par. You have to, Clara Barton had to be fixed properly, the main library had to be fixed properly, North Edison Library had to be fixed properly. All that had to be done before we would move to another phase.
And this was before that, all of that came, the facility committee that was formed. This was way back when, and I was here at the
Yes.
meeting when Neville asked for approval. I was here at the meeting,
Yes.
right, and Neville had asked for approval to build
Yes.
that office at the main library, and
I don't think
it was,
it was granted.
it was approved, and then something came up that we had to have an architect, an engineer and an architect come in to draw us plans so it was done the right way. And then from that point, everything got put on hold after Mr. Prasant formed the committee to get all this
Facilities
other work
committee.
done. So,
Yeah.
but what Jane's talking about
Yes,
with
it
the
wa- it-
architect was that.
Yes, but that was over a $15,000 office. When we come to find out that's when we decided not to approve it.
Yeah, but we had already had the architect come in and,
You had the architect come in already?
yes, before this was all formed, yes.
Okay, all right, okay, thank you.
The presentation is already being
All right, well,
done.
Thank
thank
you.
you for
All right, thank
that
you.
explanation.
Okay, so the Facilities Committee stated from this point on that everything need to be taken care of before, you don't get all dressed up before you fix the house. So we decided all those things need to take place. We got serious problems at North Edison, and we need, the carpeting, the painting, all that stuff would have to be done before anybody just moves on and do as they choose. It has to be, I know under 10,000, but it has to be somewhat voted on. People have to be aware of what's going on.
Sorry.
Any other complaints on it? Not complaints, any other discussion? on it?
Hello. Yeah. Sorry, I'm late. My apology. It's very cold and I was stuck in a traffic.
Do you have anything to say about it?
Yeah, I really want to appreciate. I met with him on Veterans Day holiday. They were working on the North Edison Library for the floor work. I really appreciate your dedication. My all library guys are very great, and really appreciate what the work you guys were doing there. And renovation committee, I believe.
All right, okay, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and yeah, definitely we will rethink about that. Also, I was thinking, but we'll work on it as a renovation committee will recommend. Maybe we'll go from there. And I think what I feel we should have, like in North Edison, we have Maker's Place. I think better we invest money on the Maker's Place for
Excuse me, but we're going to talk about that further on down the line because it says trustee facilities committees and
I'm
stuff.
so sorry.
All right, so
Yeah, facilities committee's thing.
Yeah, when we get to that.
That's why I wanted to add, because I'm late, but I want if facilities
Yeah,
committee.
just 1 second, because we'll get to that there.
Okay,
All
okay,
right,
I
that's
got you.
fine. All right, thank you.
Okay.
All right, now we're at the director's report.
Well, you know what,
vote.
I'll
We're gonna
make
take
a
care of this
motion,
first.
I'll make a motion
All
that
right.
we approve the October 2019 bill listing for November 2019 library board meeting.
All right.
And I'll second.
Okay. All
I
in
second.
favor?
I'm sorry. Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving right along. Now, let's you get to the director's report now.
Encumbrances.
Oh, encumbrance, I'm sorry, the approval of encumbrances.
We haven't approved the October bill, right?
Excuse me?
We have not approved the October bill listing,
Yes,
right?
we did, we just did. We just did.
We did, I thought we did one for September.
No, that
No,
was
that
before.
was, we did
Okay.
that before. All right, everybody stay tuned in.
Yeah, I saw that you have so many questions on it, so.
Yeah, let me take over from here.
No,
We can go from.
no, I have to finish it out.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you. All right, so the encumbrances, do we have a motion on that?
Let Jane explain.
Jane, explain.
First is LMAX quarterly assessment fee from October to the end of this year is $28,125.00. And the second one is the database for magazine EBSCO. So the annual renewal is due in December. It's $11,392. So I ask for approval for those.
I'll make a motion that we encumber money for LMXAC in the amount of $28,125.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Next is EBSCO.
And I'll also make a motion that we encumber funds for EBSCO for their annual renewal for $11,392.
And I will second that as well.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
All opposed?
No.
And the ayes have it. All right, now we get into the director's report. We're trying to, all right. now
Yeah,
get
so
to the-
I'll take her from here.
No,
Sure.
you'll get an opportunity back there. All right, director's report. We-
Looks
Anyone
good.
have
We had a lot
Anybody
going on.
seen, there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
Anybody
we
have
had a
anything?
lot going on. We had a good fall.
Yes, at all. All right. So everybody, okay. Moving right along. All right, let's have the budget report. Okay.
I have a question. I would like to, for line 12, why are we so over budget on electrical lighting?
Well, that one, if you notice, it stayed the same since September.
Excuse me, could you speak into the mic?
Oh, sorry. So that one, if you notice, it stayed the same since September. That's the extra money we paid in the previous of this year for the cameras, extra spend, and also street lights. So that's why, but it stayed the same. You can see from the 2 months. So basically, we have no extra money afterwards.
Okay, and also for conferences and meetings, we seem to be.
Yeah, because
goodness,
that's what I
260%.
I think the budget, we should put more next year. So only 500 that we have there. So next year, we need more. I encouraged my staff to go training for, for the state library training and NJLA, and also LMAX, the training. So that's why I put the money for them.
So is 65% in with these numbers of 109%, 145%, 196%, and it equaled out to 65%?
Actually, if you look at October, we're now up to 71%.
Okay, we're at 71% at this particular time in November.
Sounds about right.
Okay. Okay. Trustee Policy Committee?
Can I take over from here?
Please.
Before you read this, I do recall at the last meeting, we did ask that the policy become integrated so we can see what the actual policy will look like without
Yeah, that's the
all
one,
the
Pat.
changes.
That is one.
Just the changes are in blue, but it's all
Okay,
integrated.
so there's
This is
nothing,
it.
okay, never mind.
This is it.
That's
All
what
right, so
threw me a little
I will try to quickly do the next reading of this Edison Public Library meeting rooms policy, and perhaps we can then vote on it. All right, so Edison Public Library meeting rooms policy. The Edison Township Free Public Library adheres to Article 6 of the Library Bill of Rights adopted by the American Library Association Council and endorsed by the New Jersey Library Association. Article 6 states libraries which make exhibit spaces and meeting rooms available to the public they serve should make such facilities available on an equitable basis, regardless of the beliefs or affiliations of individuals or groups requesting their use. An interpretation of the Library Bill of Rights is stated in the NJLA Intellectual Freedom Manual as follows. If meeting rooms in libraries supported by public funds are made available to the general public for non-library sponsored events, the library may not exclude any group based on the subject matter to be discussed or based on the ideas that the group advocates. Therefore, use of the meeting room does not constitute library or township endorsement of the viewpoints, beliefs, ideas, or policies expressed by the organizations or individuals using the space. One meeting room is located in each of the following locations: Main, North Edison Branch, and Clara Barton Branch with the addresses. Capacity. Main Library, standing room only, 163, chairs only, 116, tables and chairs, 54. North Edison, standing room only, 149, chairs only, 107, tables and chairs, 49. Clara Barton, standing room only, 100, chairs only, 71, tables and chairs, 33. Rules and regulations for use of library meeting room. Organizations who desire to use the meeting room are required to complete the application form. Application forms are available online or at the main library North Edison Branch and Clara Barton Branch. Please note that proof of liability insurance is required. Library activities will take precedence over the allocation of rooms to organizations. The library reserves the right to cancel any authorization in the interest of need for library purposes. Applications must be submitted at least 2 weeks in advance for the desired date and time to be granted. Bookings may be limited. Meeting rooms are in constant demand and priority is established in the order the applications are received. Since the meeting rooms need to be used for library programs, outside groups are limited to booking no more than twice a month. Library staff will notify the organizations that authorization for the use of the building has been granted. Applicable restrictions will be noted. In all publicity or announcements related to a meeting room event, the Edison Public Library may only be mentioned as a location, not as a sponsor of an event or as the headquarters of an organization. Library staff retains the right to attend any scheduled meeting or event at the library to ensure compliance of the room usage. Meeting rooms may not be used for the purpose of religious worship or instruction. Meeting rooms are not available for social gatherings. With the exception of library-sponsored events, no admission fees or service fees may be charged, no donations solicited nor items sold. A representative of the sponsoring organization must report to the librarian in charge of the library at the time of arrival, notify the librarian in charge when the meeting has ended, and report the number of event attendees. Organizations shall establish necessary measures to conform with the following regulations of the library: room setup and cleanup. Groups are responsible for their own setup of chairs, tables, etc., and must return the room to the condition in which it was found before leaving. Organizations shall be responsible for cleaning up any trash, litter, or refuse left as a direct result of their activities. This includes dishes, garbage, paper, tidiness of meeting room and bathrooms, etc. Groups must reimburse the library for any damage that occurs to library furniture, equipment, facilities, or grounds. Audiovisual equipment. The Edison Public Library has built-in AV equipment and free wireless internet available for presentations. Presenters must use their own laptop to connect to the library's equipment. Arrangements may be made in advance for an introductory session on using the library's AV equipment, since library staff may not be available for technical support at the time of the program. Supervision. Buildings shall be made available only to responsible adult groups that will provide supervision of all participants at activities. Adult sponsors are responsible for the behavior of the group as well as for the protection of the building and its contents. Meetings held at Main Library, North Edison Branch, or Clara Barton Branch must end 15 minutes prior to closing. Groups must adhere to the library code of conduct that includes the supervision of children and not interfere with normal library operation. Policies are available at the desk or online if clarification is needed. Smoking, vaping, consumption of alcoholic beverages, use of candles or incendiary devices, and cooking is prohibited in the library or meeting room. Organizations shall inform all members of their staff and all members of their audiences of this prohibition and take necessary steps to ensure compliance. Vehicles. Vehicles must be legally parked. Compliance failure. Failure to comply with the rules and regulations of the library will result in the denial of the use of the building for future occasions. Fees. The following fees will be charged for the use of the library meeting rooms and must be paid before using the rooms. Fees may be waived for library-affiliated organizations at the discretion of the director. Nonprofit organizations, $35 per use. Profit-making organizations, $75 per use. And then there are descriptions of nonprofit and for-profit organizations. Checks should be made payable to the Edison Township Free Public Library and submitted with the application. Cancellations. Any cancellation of a meeting room reservation must be made 5 business days before the scheduled meeting date. If the organization cancels a room reservation less than 5 business days prior to their scheduled date, the meeting room fee shall revert to the library. Library closings. In the event that the library must close due to equipment failure or inclement weather, all efforts will be made to notify the contact person listed on the meeting room application. During adverse weather conditions, the group should call the library or check the library's website or Facebook page for updates. Organizations scheduled to use a meeting room when there is an emergency closing may choose to have their fee returned or applied to another date. That is the updated revisions to the Edison Public Library meeting rooms policy.
What was the collection policy first week?
Well, no, we have to, we've got to do the meeting room policy first.
Okay, so now we're up for a vote on that because this was the second reading.
Yes.
I have maybe a comment or a suggestion.
Sure, of course.
Regarding the fee, we can either add something, say that it's subject to revise in the future, just in case this one will be there for 10 years. You know.
Well, no, it would have to come
Yeah.
before the board to be revised, so therefore it would be during a meeting, so I think it could take
Yeah.
care of it at that time.
Yeah, and it would not require an entire reading of the policy. This has to be read just because so many revisions were made. The whole thing
Okay,
was
yeah,
updated.
that's fine, yeah.
One question I have on a point 3, that library outside groups are limited to booking no more than twice a month. If room is available and nobody is booking, should we allow them to book it or not?
Well, that was included after discussion with the library staff, who does take care of meeting room scheduling.
So, yeah, I mean, so I'm saying, instead of keeping it empty, if somebody
Oh,
wants.
I'm sure they would not be keeping it empty. They would not be keeping it empty. It appears that the meeting rooms are in such demand that they just wanted to put that in. But I'm sure if there was something that there was room available, that
Okay.
it could be done at the director's discretion.
At this particular time, can we get a motion?
At this time, I will make a motion that we approve the Edison Public Library meeting room policy.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, so may it be. All
Okay,
right.
Pat, I'd like to say thank you very much for a very well-done job. You
Yes.
did a great job on it, and with all the
Well,
revisions.
thank you
and
to the committee
everything
members.
To the
and-
committee
yes.
also, but thank you very much,
And I think it was very well written.
extremely.
Yes. All right. Next, the collection policy first read.
Okay, at this time, we are not ready to do
Okay.
a first read. What we have here is the existing materials selection, collection, development policy. This is what we have in place at the moment. And if you would take a look at it, not now, but when you have a chance, take a look at it, and then as soon as we possibly can, we'll send out the revised policy so that you can take a look at it, and we can have a first reading next meeting.
All right. All right, next, the trustee, that's the bookmobile committee.
Okay, well, Neville is not here. I know he did send an estimate around on a couple of the smaller versions of a bookmobile that we had discussed previously. But since he's not here, we're not able to go into the full length of it. So all I can say is that I know we do have a couple of estimates, and we are looking into it, but we still need to determine the exact types of bookmobiles, and as Robbie had also stated, where would we house to? So we still need to do that, and the aspect of housing two of them, which I think is one of the better ideas, does need to come under this jurisdiction again of revising the strategic plan and to what we see in the future with a lot of the expenditures that have recently come to be. We're spending a lot of money right now, and we need to get on board with some of that so we can move forward appropriately.
Yes, I'm on board with the 2 vans. That'll be easily serviced, and one would be like north side and one would be south side, and we can deliver books and stuff to the seniors and people who are, disabled, unable to get here. So I like that idea a lot. All right, so we'll be ready for that the next time. How about
Hope so.
the trustee facilities committee?
All right, the Facilities Committee, since we met in September, we had a facilities meeting on October 8th that was really very, very helpful. Jane was there, the 2 branch heads were there, Robbie was there, along with Deborah Trupo, who works at the main library, the adult reference library supervisor. It really was very helpful. Each building put in what they were interested in having done. And the takeaway was that we desperately need to make sure that we have a professional evaluation of the existing space, just to make sure that it is going to be flexible. And a lot of this was mentioned at the meeting last month, even before we had this joint meeting. In the meantime, I know I have visited a number of libraries, and I'm sure many others, some of the staff has visited other libraries as well. There has been some update. I really think that it would be appropriate right now to ask Robbie to give an update of some of the things that have been done, if you don't mind.
Okay, as everybody knows, we've been really busy at the Edison Public Libraries. We're updating. Clara Barton has been finished with the heating and air conditioning upgrade. The lighting upgrade at Clara Barton has been finished. Windows are on order, so as soon as the windows come in, they will be replaced, and that will take care of the leak at Clara Barton. So we're on the roll. North Edison, a long time coming, but the floor has been repaired. They finished up today. They finished that up today.
Bathrooms?
Well, that wasn't part of it, like the floor fix. We didn't want to go into the bathrooms and have to mess around with tile and stuff, so we did it on the outside. It just suited the purpose. So I was so busy, I wanted to have a package for everybody with pictures, before and after pictures, but believe me, I was so busy today, I didn't get a chance to get that, but I would be more than happy to email it to everybody if they would like, when I get everything together. I will do that. At the main library right now, we're in the process of still continuing with the heating and air conditioning there. It's been a really slow process over there. They've been running into all kinds of issues over there, so we're on a real slow roll over there.
Is this with the energy retrofit program?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Why are they running into problems?
Like getting units out of spaces where, I guess when they put them in there, they put it in there before the walls were built, so they have to disassemble everything in these little rooms, and then with the new units that are coming in, they have to actually disassemble them at the warehouse, bring it over and reassemble it to get it into the rooms. So we're really backed up on that right now, but it is moving along. We haven't done any of the
rooftop ones.
Excuse me?
I thought they were mostly doing rooftop ones.
No, well, they're doing it, but we have a boiler at the main library. We have 2 boilers over there, and we have air handlers that are inside the building.
Inside the building?
Yeah, so that's what they're working on now, the one upstairs. And then once this is finished, that's when all the rooftop units will be brought in, and that's when we have to have a crane come in and lift everything on and off the roof. So we are moving along, but we're a little behind, we're behind schedule on that right now. And then North Edison will be the last one to get the rooftop units over there. Everything else, all the lighting is done at all the LEDs upgrade has been done at all the libraries that have been completed. And that's where we are right now.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
My question to the facility committee, I have asked last time also that I need a to Z list, but still I'm missing that.
No, I don't believe you are. I don't believe you are. I did not do A, B, Z. I did not do an A to Z list. But I did say that we need to evaluate the existing space. We do need to do that. I have made calls. Someone is coming in from one of the places that was recommended by the director of Woodbridge Public Library, who I spoke to. And he will come in and evaluate the spaces and give us some ideas of what we might want to do. We cannot proceed without having a plan. It doesn't make any sense, and it is not fiscally responsible. It's not fiscally responsible. One of the items that was requested at the meeting on October 8th was to make sure that each one of the locations had a computer cart. They wanted one for classes and one for public use. I think that if we can confirm the needs at each location, we could proceed and get a computer lab on a cart, because that can be used in any other place. The other thing that was requested at all 3 locations is that there is a need for additional online catalog touchscreens. Now, as long as those can be installed in a way that they can easily be moved if needed, we can go ahead and proceed with that. In some of my visits to other libraries, I have seen that many of them are using more waterproof floors, vinyl floors in meeting rooms and areas of the library that might have, where there might be food, so they don't have to deal with with cleaning of a carpet. You may know that in our tour of the 3 locations at North Edison, they were having a program, and just by accident, slime was dropped on the floor. And if any of you have had anything to do with slime that kids like to use, it is almost impossible to clean. So now the floor looks really pretty disgusting over there, the carpet. But as I said, several of the libraries that I have visited have a different kind of flooring in their meeting rooms.
Might be called Cortec, which is scratch-proof and
Scratch-proof,
water-resistant. It's
yes.
almost like a laminate.
Yes.
And it's very good.
Yeah.
It's quite popular, and it's actually very affordable, too.
Yes, exactly.
So
I think-
how long do you guys think it will take for you guys to make a decision or bring this all things? Because I believe Jen has worked with many of the libraries. She made a list. She shared with us, because I was so frustrated last time. So that's why I requested her to visit many libraries, and she did. And thanks for you. You visited many libraries, which I just came to know because I don't have list in front of me. But
And I
whatever,
know.
I believe on you.
No, and I know that you had mentioned last meeting in September that you planned to visit several libraries.
Right.
I don't know.
I visited several libraries myself,
So,
and I was like,
so my
how
question
beautiful.
is there that why not we invite our own instead of someone's, means based on your it is the 4th or 5th month. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It's 4 months at least, I know. We have this committee, right? So how long it will require, right?
Well, I believe once we have one of the professionals to come in and give us some advice of what we might want to do with the space. And I know that some of the branch heads and Deborah at the main library has some ideas of what they would like
Correct.
to do in terms of each one of the spaces. For example, at North Edison, if you've looked, the former head of security office has now been updated, and there's a TV mounted on the wall and a table, and currently it's able to be used by staff, but that will be opened up for use for the public. So I think, but if you're asking, are all these purchases going to be made by December 31st?
This is not my question, right? Whether we will make it today or we are making within 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, right? This is happening from the last couple of months. We are just struggling to make what we need to do. If we will have an A to Z list, as a board, we all can sit and decide, okay, first priority is, okay, we need to change carpet, or we need to change the table, right? We need to change. But how, the way the facility committee is working, which was my dream, I had a dream that my facility committee supposed to bring a list only and let the Jan and her team to work on. Robbie and everyone has to work on it to bring the proper thing.
But
Excuse me, what happened was Robbie brought us a lot of information of a lot of stuff that's been,
I know.
and everything doesn't get done
but I
overnight,
don't have the list in front of me, which I can
So, all right,
see and read.
so Vasant,
She'll type it up and send you a
the first item on the list is evaluate the use of the existing space.
This is a copy of the email that you received. This is similar to an A to Z list of just this recent one.
I agree.
Previously, there have
received
been
that.
a lot of A to Z lists, and Jane has gotten a lot of her wishes on her wish list, so to speak. We have the new telephones, we have the new computers.
Right.
All of that is being done. The other part that is not being done is this. This is a strategic plan that we did in 2016 that is now totally expired, okay? Of
That's why we
2019.
that's why we
signed
need.
it last year.
Yeah,
So
that's
this is
why
what
we
needs to
need.
be done before we can possibly think about spending $100,000 on something or another $100,000 on something else.
See, dollar amount comes secondary. My question is there, why not we are, see, I can see these emails, but these are just the wish list from everyone's, right? We need something in a place where we
Yeah.
can say, okay, 10 things we have to do it. We know we cannot finish the 10 things in a 1 year.
Exactly.
At least one or
Right.
two things we should be.
She said
We did, we have telephones,
Oh,
we
that
have
was-
new
that was-
computer systems,
Yeah.
we have the new flooring, we have the Clara
lighting.
garden, we have
Yeah,
the
but
lighting,
that was
the new
never-
boilers, and new HVAC systems. How does not constitute
Right, but only thing is.
having everything
ha-
done?
Only thing is, the facility committee never produced those lists before. So that's my question is
Excuse me,
coming.
sir, but
Always
they
you're
brought them to
telling.
every meeting. They brought them to every meeting, the facilities.
No, they're
they always-
telling, but
And they
nothing is
also-
coming on a paper.
Excuse me, sir, but they also met with Jane and also the branch heads, and they gathered information at that time.
See,
They've been
now-
on a finding mission the whole time. And
Okay,
everything they have gotten
instead of
together
arguing on
has.
that one,
Excuse me,
can we
excuse
have
me,
a, can
excuse
we
me.
have a plan?
Excuse me, can I just finish my sentence? You know,
I
I know
mean,
people like to cut
taking too
people
long.
off. Just 1 second, please, sir. But I know for a fact, because I've been going around visiting the different branches and stuff and discussing this stuff. So I don't want somebody to be under the impression that nobody was working on a plan, nobody was working with other people. We had our buildings person, Robbie, come up, and he gave us an advanced amount of all the thing that has been taken care of so far. We had also Patricia Massey, who has been keeping diligent notes every single time we meet. She's been handing back to people. So I don't want people to believe that this has been a nothing committee, no one has done nothing, and we have not moved forward. I do not want to lie to the public. I want the public to know, and I applaud the people that have done everything up to this point. Now, David.
I mean, my point is that let's try to figure out, say, for example, I mean, today's meeting, we don't have a concrete, but next meeting, can we put something here and then we vote and then let the library staff to start work on it? I mean, or is that something we can?
Start work on what?
All those kind of facilities
See-
stuff, right?
Well, he just told you
See,
what
what-
they're doing,
No,
they're in the
that's done.
process
Yeah, so
of it.
The
I
task for the
understand,
new-
Miss.
The new task, that's a different thing, right?
Yeah, see.
That's not by the facility
they're doing,
committee.
Robbie is doing great job. That's what
Yeah.
I told very earlier. That's the flooring was the main issue, which we discussed beginning of the year, right? But facility committee was created by me because I wanted them to make a to Z list, whatever things are required, right? I really appreciate you guys visited many places, I also visited, Jan also visited. Everybody is trying their level best. But we are not coming on a same table to make this. So I'm kind of confused. Means what direction we can give to Robbie or the library's other people that where they have to work on it? Because they are doing based on their knowledge, but we don't have anything to show to the public.
Robbie,
We are showing them what we have done, but we don't know what we are going to do the next.
Excuse me,
See,
Robbie,
carpet
may I ask you a
is
question?
wrong. Floor is, has a issue, we have a furniture has a issue, we have 40, 50 years old things are there. I understand you want to measure each and every inch of the books where it should be put or, and this and that. I understand. It will take time. You need somebody to come. But how many days? It's a 4 month now.
Okay. Robbie, may I ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay, are we set on with what, are we sure about what we are doing as far as what the facility committee has a meeting with? Do we have somewhat of a schedule on the flooring and everything else and the painting and the replacing and coordinating with all the LED lights and things that are done and that are ongoing?
Everything is, yes, we have a schedule for everything. Well, you mentioned painting. I don't know anything about painting right now.
Well, no, not
but,
right now, but.
I mean, I can answer a bunch of questions, you
Excuse
know.
me, but-
Oh, sorry.
Excuse me. Everything you're getting ready, you can say again, is listed under unfinished business. Unfinished business, the floor issue, all that stuff, you've already,
You've addressed it.
Yes.
in your
you've addressed
statement
all of
before.
that already before we even got to that. You've addressed it, and I think you addressed it sufficiently for, and, what was asked of, they want a more detailed, paper coming in the December meeting. They want a more detailed paper of what we're gonna do to move forward. And so there's no
No.
sense in you repeating the same thing over and over again.
Now, are we looking for a list of every, like, painting, carpeting to be replaced throughout? I mean, is that what we're looking for,
You know what, I
mean,
think
Not-
we're,
not-
I
not-
think
not
we're.
yet.
Yeah, I think we're going in circles here.
Yes, we are.
Because we
wanted
have the
this
list
on to
right
be
here. We had a meeting
assured.
on October 8th. We will have another meeting after we have a professional come out and look at the 3 locations. And we will have additional information at the next meeting, but I'm a little bit concerned. I know that I was instrumental in the Facilities Committee being formed after we had discussion about not doing things piecemeal. And I was very pleased that you agree that we form a Facilities Committee. But it goes back to updating the strategic plans so that we know what our plan is, and we want to make sure that we have these spaces to be flexible.
Sorry to interrupt you. Flooring issue and skylight issue was discussed and agreed before I formed this facility meeting.
Yes,
So you
yes.
cannot get the credit for that,
No,
first
I'm
of all.
not looking for
Wha-
credit.
No, no, I'm just telling, very truly. What I was expecting, what are the else things we need to do it? Because that was that was proposed by the library. These are the risky things which we need to do it. We had to save the energy. That was done by the library, good job. Flooring was down, they did a good job. Same thing. So I need other all things list. Just simple.
All right, you know what?
Okay,
It's
okay,
a
all
very
right.
simple
They're gonna
Hassan,
give- they're gonna give you a
But
list.
just so
They're
that the
gonna give you a
public has an idea of some of the things that need to be done, just that you have an idea. We need to evaluate the use of existing space. We need to provide flexible spaces. We need to create a facilities plan with a timeline. We need to paint walls before installing items and avoid a piecemeal approach. We need to provide more electrical power. We need to consider a mix of carpet and other flooring, especially where food is present. We need to create a designated eating area with no carpet. We need to consider movable shelving in some areas to provide flexible use of space. We need to confirm ADA compliance. We need to provide computer labs on carts, one for classes, one for public. We need to increase the number of online catalog touchscreens. We need to use cubicles or study carrels that provide some privacy because the public has asked for that. We need to improve the signage at all locations, and we just need to continue to look at other libraries and see what they have done. So we do have a list of things that need to be done. So I think we have made progress in this committee that has only been in place for a very short time. The first time there was any facilities committee meeting report done was at the September meeting. So we did not meet in October, so now this is the second time that we've had some reports. So I
Okay.
think we have made progress.
No, I really appreciate
Can
what.
we move on now?
No, one second before that. No, I appreciate what you guys have done, but that's what I was looking for, right? This is coming in the email to the board, but this need to be shown to the public. So, Jen, I will request, if this is the final facility committee list, please add in the our document so we can publish into the public, and let's get their details. But
All right.
okay,
Can we move on?
but again, I'm saying it's a four month, which is not a short period. So, Joyce.
Yeah, we want to move on. We want to move on because of time at the utmost. We
I
are with the
understand, Joe.
RFID technology proposal.
Okay. The unfinished.
Yeah,
We're
we'll
doing
start the
we're doing
unfinished business.
unfinished business, but as we see, A has already been discussed like about 3 to 4 times.
Right, we already did that.
All right? So now we get to B. Do we have a technology proposal?
Okay, so this is a
Right here?
proposal we
All right,
did with,
okay.
I did with my staff.
Please speak into the,
This proposal I did with my librarian together, and because since we visit other libraries, and most of the library recently, not recent, some years ago, they already upgrade to this technology. It's called radio frequency identification, which basically with a tag, and we replace the old tradition, the sensor, the stripe, put on each item, including books and DVDs. And the improvement you can see it's really very significant. And it can increase the circulation and inventory efficiency and improve the workflow. Inventory, like this new facility you can do, if you have a chance to watch that clip, it can do 20,000 items per hour. It can speed up our inventory workflow a lot. And also for the for check-in, check-out, right now they don't need to do one item per time. They can multiple books checking out. And for the security gates, since our security gates are very old, we need to replace them anyway because it's already 20 years old. And each gate is more than 20,000, even though we have the old one you can trade in, it's 19,000. That's why I put on the phase 3, but still, this is a technology which is already used by most of the libraries, and in our library consortium already have 4.
Okay.
And there is a new library joining, and Elizabeth, who has 4 branches like us before, they started in December. So I really highly recommend that we need to upgrade our technology. And also it's very secure. It's not give you false alarm. And when you go out of the gate, any books you haven't checked out, they will immediately display on the screen. So the circulation staff will immediately notice. There are a lot of benefits if you can read through. We have a compare.
You sent it
we
to
read
us.
through it. You
And
said-
these are trends, yeah. So
I think it's a
really,
very neat idea. Yeah, I think it's very good. However, it's not for approval tonight, I'm sure. It's just a first look through. And like I said, you're talking almost $100,000.
yeah, but it's
the total
looking like
cost.
the future.
How much
I
did we
want-
just
I
spend
was-
on the other things?
I wanted to talk about that, because if you add it up, it's 214, so I just want to
Even
get
more.
clarity.
Yeah.
Is it all the phases, like, are all these phases required, Jane?
It's
Yeah, so
214,000.
it's about 214,000, yeah.
And we just spent $100,000 on new boilers and things, and we have...
But that's different, Sue. I
yes,
mean,
it
this
is
is technology
different.
upgrade. This is like the trend for all the technology. And we always mention about 21st century. We're leading ourselves to the 21st century, and we need to show them technology. I don't want us to be the last one, and at least we are in the top. We don't need to be the number 1 in this area, but at least we are in the top, right? Right now, our technology is so below. And, the number is, of course, the money is a lot of money, but I think for the future trend, also for
And I
our.
think for the future, I
tech-
think it's a very good
Yeah.
thing that we,
Yes.
and I
I hope you can
probably
agree
agree that
with
we
me.
need it. However, with all the other expenses we have just
we don't-
undertaken.
So that's
We
why
don't have that money.
like Pat just mentioned, we need to have, the big picture for everything.
Yes, we need to have the strategic
Consider
plan
everything together.
updated so everything can fall
Yes.
into place. And
I
then with
agree.
these big expenses, now we just took on telephones, we took
I
on
agree with
computers,
that.
and then we took
That-
on
But that doesn't
boilers
mean
and
we don't need to
HVAC
spend money on our
Yes.
technology, right?
and
Sue?
all
I
the
hope-
lighting. So
Yeah,
we
I
just
agree
took
with
on
you,
all
Sue.
that. It's one thing
I
at a
understand.
time.
And the neighbors still are asking about a bookmobile or van or something also,
Well,
too. I mean,
that's got to fall into place with everything. We can't spend $100,000
No,
every
we don't
month.
need to do that in one time. And first phase, we need to change the tag. Just use that RDS tag. We don't need to buy the equipment yet. we can just upgrading to that part. That for East Brunswick, I
It'll take
sent
us
my
some time
staff
to
to
look through
visit
this.
East Brunswick
Okay,
and
let-
Plainfield. They spent like 2 or 3 months to upgrade that
Okay, let me
phase one.
request, the way this is worded, it's, you're not giving us hard numbers, it's 41,000 or less.
I gave you the budgetary
75
number. It's not like
between
exact
this and
number.
this. If you can give us, and when you say phases, you're not explaining timeline.
Yeah, I
When-
did.
when-
In the beginning, I said the timeline 6 months.
Okay. If you can put this, this is honestly for me hard to follow. If you have at the beginning 6 months, it would be easier if you, when you break it out, what the price is, what the timeline is. If
Yeah, I
there's
have
something,
that.
if we can integrate some of this technology with what we already have to save on
No, that's
expenses to
different
spread it out.
technology.
Well, but it's still, it's a valid question that I didn't know before. You understand what I'm saying? You're just giving us this, there is no bottom line, like someone had to add it now. We need the way we're looking at it, it needs to be laid out so we can see what the progression is, how long between each, and we really also
There's
have to
not how long between each. After we upgrade all the tags, which means we put the tags for each book, right?
Okay.
That takes around 6 months, less than 6 months. After that, for the equipment, it depends on your approval, so we can just install them. That's not take any time.
Okay.
There's no timelines on that.
So I
Yeah,
think
that's only the timeline we have is the first phase. We need to upgrade, yeah.
We also need to look at the budget and see where
Yeah,
this
of
would
course,
fall in.
of course. That's why I
Yeah.
just hope you can, realize that this is technology, that's the trend for all the public libraries especially.
Oh, I think it's wonderful. I like the whole idea of it, just,
Thank
But
you.
I
Not
think
for
this
change.
goes to the discussion we're having until we get the floor
Yes.
plans and everything. Like, this is the window dressing somewhere down the
Yes,
line a
yes.
little.
Yeah, no, I think this technology is quite interesting, and you're absolutely right that many libraries have
And
implemented
there are
it.
more libraries joining it right now.
Right, there are. But I did look at some of the articles. I looked at the American Library Association fact sheet, and I looked at Considering RFID, that article that was available, and it does raise some questions. It just says, you need to evaluate your existing technology. Are the servers adequate, or whatever? There was also some comment about if you're putting
We just got new
tabs.
computers.
Yeah, if you're putting tabs in the book, if you're halfway through,
Right now, they upgraded the technology. Right now,
upgrade
within a
thing.
certain distance, so there is no privacy problems.
Right, and is
Yeah.
there going to be an issue, just a little bit more information, is there going to be an issue with checking out interlibrary loan books with a library that doesn't use that technology? And also.
what about the bookmobile? Will it integrate with that?
Same thing.
Oh, yeah, it would be the same
It would work with that,
thing.
good.
But this is only one vendor, and I know there are a number of vendors.
Yeah, we're looking for some vendor, but only in our local area. The Bibliotheca is the state contract, so most of the libraries are using them. And before, they have another 3M for the gate, but now they combine to one, so.
Right.
Our gate are a 3M, but now it's belong to Bibliotheca too.
Right, and which were the libraries that you said in LMXAC that are
I
there?
listed here. East Brunswick, Elizabeth, Plainfield, South Brunswick, South Plainfield. I think there are more. It's
Oh, and
coming.
now South Plainfield, right.
Yeah, and then our near labor, like Scotch Plains, Fanwood, New
Yeah.
Milford. Old-
No, the technology is fabulous. I just think I agree that we need
Yeah,
a
I
little
need
bit
a
more
plan for how
information.
to allocate our money.
Any more discussion on it?
I think the technology itself is good. It's a good idea to help with the efficiency. I believe, like, based on the current discussion, it's just this total cost to switch over, like maybe a concern for some of the board members. So
That's why we split in three
Or do we
phases.
want to, like, give the board member some like,
Time to digest.
time to digest.
That's fine, that's fine.
And again,
So that's what I'm trying to, yeah.
and again, I would request
it's a
that
massive,
when you give us these numbers, if you could put them in a comprehensive, like a spreadsheet form, so that we can see, the numbers together and what the total is, as opposed to us having to whip out our calculators.
That's
That would be
fine,
very
but
helpful.
it is not, again, this is just a budgetary, it's not exact numbers. If
I
you
know, I
need-
understand,
and
but it
also,
still
we
makes a
don't-
difference in
If you
how
don't
we.
want to go to phase 3, that's fine, we can still use this technology, we can put it in later time when we have money budget for that, you know?
Okay. Another question is, where do you propose we take the money from? Are you proposing that we take this from the
Right now,
trustee account?
we have money, we still have, our budget sheet, we still have money haven't spent. And also for next year, we can all allocate them more smartly, so find the money. Also, if the money we don't spend, I think Maureen will take it back, right?
No, you get to keep your own money.
Oh, okay, that's great. Yeah, I agree, we need to have a very
So
comprehensive
this is
plan,
the-
how to implement it.
You talking about taking this out of the operating account?
No, it would have to be. I don't think she has that much budgeted in a computer line, but I think it would probably be the monies that we turn back over each year to the library that you haven't spent.
To our
I
trustee?
don't know where that money is,
Money goes to the-
but I would imagine that's the account it'd come out
All
of.
right, okay, all right, all right. Excuse me? Yeah, I know. All right, moving right along, let's do the DVD fee charging loan period policy adjustment proposal. Do we have one of those?
For the DVDs, if you can see, we want just to move from, now we have 6 months for new and charge people $1. I want to reduce to 3 months. After 3 months, we charge nothing. Because if you compare to Metuchen, they don't charge money for DVDs.
Do we have
And
a
they have a
policy?
very huge circulation. I have the number out there. It's over 20, so far they have over 28,000 circulation for DVD movies, and we only have 9,000, a little bit. And our residents always go to Metuchen to check out the DVDs, and now they charge us money.
All right,
Before they don't charge now, so.
okay.
I would like to say, I think it's an excellent idea that we reduce the fees. I think it's a great idea.
Thank you.
I support that one, because whenever I check out the DVD, I'll get fined several days later.
Totally agree. A lot of parents have the concern that, it's too expensive to check out a few DVDs and pay because you could basically get that from they use the rental box for the same amount
red
of fee.
box.
Yeah, the red box thing.
Yeah. And
We're
and
charging
it's
the same amount.
It's only typically it's only 1-2 days or several days you have to return. So I agree with this one.
Yeah, actually, in Bergen County, they don't charge for anything.
No, I would like,
So I think we should return back some tax money to our taxpayers.
I would like to ask,
If we can reduce or we can remove it.
is it necessary for us to vote on this?
No, this is
Okay.
internal,
I didn't think so. I just
all
wanted
right?
to check.
So, next, the non-librarian union negotiation.
Yeah, the non-library union contract will be expiring December, so I think
31st.
now is the time we need to form a committee to start our negotiation.
So you'll be on the committee?
Sure, I'll be on the committee again. Did it before, do it again.
So we will talk that in the closed session.
No, actually,
No, you have to
that
do
gets talked about in open.
Committee, I will make in the closed session.
Actually, that gets done in open
You have to
session.
do it in open.
It's in an open session, but I want everyone's
have to
view
go by the law.
first. Yes, we are going to have a negotiation committee, but I want to check each board member's view in a closed session, that who want to participate, who has expertise on that, and they can do it. I cannot make it the decision right away. That's what I'm saying. So we have a.
You can ask each board member in open session.
Discussion can be done in open session.
Yes.
if you mind.
No, I can.
It has to be done in open session.
We can discuss, but committee is my right to make it so that I will make it. So I want your, if you guys want to discuss in open session, you can discuss it. I have no issues. You can discuss, but committee, I will make it when I will make a mind.
What?
Okay, let's discuss it. I think the only discussion would be
The only
who
discussion
wants to
is
be on
that,
it.
he would ask each person, do you want to be on that committee?
Correct.
Hassan, you have to ask each person, do they want to be on the committee?
Everybody want? No, we see, again, I'm requesting, because it is employee-related issues, I don't want to discuss in a public.
The formation of the committee itself, though, is
Correct.
formation of the committee itself, though, is not an employment, will not have any discussions regarding the nuts and bolts of union negotiations. It's simply the formation of a committee.
I'm sorry, Mr. Attorney, but I'm not agree. Whenever we made the committee, we made in a closed session
No.
when we were talking
No.
with that.
I think what we can do is maybe after the closed session, back to the public session.
We
he
will,
can
be-
announce
we will
the,
come back and we will
committee.
declare
Will that be fine?
the committee's name. That's it.
No. No.
No, the committee will be announced during the public session, right?
Yes, we will.
That's
I
fine.
will declare the committee in the public session when we will come out from the
I'm
closed session.
just trying to figure out what we would possibly be going into closed session for, to form a committee.
That I will discuss in the closed session.
You can only go into closed session for certain
Closed
reasons.
session is for personnel.
He's proposing changing essentially what the discussion is on the agenda. That's allowable, because if he's saying we'll go back into public session before the committee, that's fine. But I'm not privy as to what specific personnel questions are going to be done.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
But that would have to be discussed in closed session, so. if
All
he
right,
wants to-
in and out, all
If
right.
you're okay
Yeah.
with doing it
All
after.
right, in and out. Yeah, we're not going to be wasting too much time now.
Yeah.
All right, the next year, board meeting schedule.
Yeah, I think it's the time to discuss for the next year's schedule, whether we still have also the location in township or back to library. I recommend we go back to
It's going
library,
to stay here.
because we can have more people to join us, and
No,
also
but it's going to-
especially for our staff.
It's going to stay here.
That's my suggestion. Okay, you make decisions, right?
Excuse me?
You make decision, that's my suggestion.
No,
and-
I like your suggestion, but they stated
And also
to
you need to
me.
give me the date you
Yeah,
want.
they stated to me that it would stay like this, and they also said, when making the schedule up for next year, be mindful of the high holy days
Thank you.
Yes.
at all, because that's not, fair to other people when you don't figure in the high holy days. So
Jane,
we
this
need
is
to schedule
November. Have
accordingly.
you made the schedule? I was looking in my packet to see if there was one.
For what?
The meetings next year?
Mm,
We
no,
haven't booked them yet?
We haven't done yet.
Oh, we haven't done
No,
it yet.
and also township gave me the email, they said we have to let them know by the first week of December, so that's why we need to make a decision now.
Well, we haven't changed, as of now, we're meeting on, what is it, the
Second
Tuesday.
the second Tuesday of the month at 7 PM. So unless we take a vote to change that, which I don't think has been put on the table, we're meeting the second Tuesday at 7 PM. Unless there is a holiday.
Or a conflict,
or
which you
unless
should
there's
work
a
with the clerk's
conflict, yeah,
office
unless
right
there's
now.
a holiday or other conflict.
I'll
If
check
she works
with,
with the clerk's office,
Yeah.
Correct.
it would be done properly.
Correct.
All right, because they know all the different holidays and different times that things are closed. So that would be a good idea to get
Okay.
with the clerk,
yeah, I'll check with them and let you know.
okay? Any announcements? All right, open for public comment.
Hello, I'm Mary Ellen Spitzmiller. I live on Woodbridge Avenue. I guess back in July, I was speaking with, Neville. I know he's not here today. We mentioned about the bookmobile, and I'm thrilled that we're getting one. I think a lot of people didn't think you were really going to go through with it. But my concern is, and totally your decision, I don't know why you think 2 vans is going to be better than a large bookmobile. Neville did mention their concern was, beside the price, the disaster of purchasing the Summit one. Yes, the Summit bus was a disaster, but people don't stop buying cars because it didn't work out. We've had 2 other bookmobiles. The Thomas built one, lasted us 29 years, and we never had any problem. Before that, we had a Gerstenslager that lasted us 17 years. Normal issues, but we never had the problem we had with this Summit built one. And you got to remember, the Summit built one had its issues in process. They made it too big, they had to cut it, and they really messed it up when they took 5 feet off of that bus, okay? So to go in and buy 2 smaller vehicles that you have no place to park, that will not hold the amount of people you are going to need it for, you're going to have to put twice as many books, because you're going to have books in both. You're going to have the same books in both. You're going to have people come on. We used to do 50, 60 people at a stop. They will not fit on a 29-foot bus. They just won't. It will become a fire hazard. You will not be able to carry enough books to hold that. So I hate to see you spend money, your ideas are great, that are not going to work for our township. And I'm telling you that from 35 years of experience. It will not work unless you get 2 big buses, and I don't think you want to do that. And also I think Neville's other complaint was having a problem with Cdl drivers. We now, in your library staff, you now house and employ 3 Cdl drivers. 2 full-timers and 1 part-timer. That wasn't always the case. So yeah, there were times they did not make enough money. We'd hire a driver, we'd change them, then they would leave. We only had a nighttime driver, so we were in a van. But the reason you took the van, or the staff refused to go out in a van anymore, is because they couldn't handle the amount of business that the van entailed. It's just too much for Edison. Edison is, they love their bookmobile. And I just really would like you to think of, before you go and buy one, I don't know if you're going to save any money if you buy 2 buses. You're going to have to maintain both of them. Things will go wrong with them. You're going to have to get drivers. I do not know how you could put, and I know some places do, have a driver that is not have a CDL. The amount of books that go in a van are very, very heavy. Do you really want any Tom, Dick, or Harry driving this? In Edison, they can flip easy. If they take turns too fast, really, do you want to have somebody who is not experienced with that license to drive your van with that much weight and that much books on inside of it? Again, I just hope you think about it before you purchase 2 and it doesn't work out, and then you're stuck.
Mary Ellen, I have a question
Sure.
for you, because you make a lot of valid points. And one of the things I was wondering about, because when I did some research, on it, we got Summit, and it was out in the Midwest. The only other large bookmobile manufacturer I could find is in Matthews, is down in North Carolina. I don't know if there's other
Thomas
ones
built.
around.
The one we have now is in Ohio, Columbus. I think it's Columbus. And I think, well, too far, but
Well, it's not
these people
necessarily that
will
it's too
come in.
far, they will.
Thomas Built came in and gave us, and I'm not pushing them, but we had a vehicle. We had it 29 years.
But are they still in existence?
Yes,
Because
they
when
are
I
still in
Googled
existence.
everything and looking for information on the different bookmobiles or manufacturers
Yes.
that are around,
Mhm.
all I could find was just really the 2 of them. Even though we're having a trade show down in, I think, Washington, D.C., somewhere not too long ago, and they had 1 bookmobile manufacturer down there, which was Summit.
And
And it's like, so if you have other information.
Yes, the Thomas-
If you could get it, that would be great.
I would be
About the
more than willing.
manufacturers. Yeah. that would be
Thomas
wonderful.
Built, now mind you, they're not a tractor trailer. They are a bus. And again, with the problem we had with the tractor trailer, why don't you stick with a bus? Do we really need a tractor trailer in Edison? The bus, the one we had, the Thomas built, was fabulous. The consultant we had was the one who pushed for a bus, which is great for out west. But in Edison, I think it's a lot easier to move around with a bus than it is with a tractor trailer anyway. I think you're going to have less problems. They know what size you need, and we had such good luck with this.
Well, if you could get information on that.
I will.
And forward it to me, since I am on the bookmobile committee.
Okay.
I would appreciate that. Because
Sure.
like I said, when I Googled everything, the only information I could find were those two major ones. And then Neville found a couple of ones for the smaller ones with a Mercedes-Benz engine type of thing, which
Yeah.
is why we were looking into that, because we didn't want to go back to Summit.
No, oh, no, no.
Even though that might have been just a glitch for one time, but, once you're burned, you really
Oh,
shouldn't.
you can't go back to them.
No.
We had such bad luck with them.
Yes.
And do you know that they're trying to sell the bus that they took back from us? It is now posted on their website that they are trying to sell that bus.
But
Okay?
talking to another lady, though, they said that they had the same problems with their bookmobile that they purchased right here. I can't think of the town right now, but I spoke with the lady, and she said they had the same lemon problems with their bookmobile
Bill.
from that, from the company.
From that,
Yeah, so,
So,
I
yeah,
don't know,
yes.
and I appreciate people saying like stuff that was built 29 years ago, and probably buildings that were built 29 years ago, when people took pride in building, they're building stuff with different kind of materials and stuff now that, just fall apart and drop. So I understand what you mean. We would all love to have that same quality of stuff that we got 29 years ago.
True.
Well, they
And
don't
I think if
make
you go.
things like they used to, but.
No, I agree they don't, but they do still make buses because you have school buses. And basically, that's what it is. People who make the buses, well, not a lot of them, but there are a few, will transfer them into a bookmobile. They will custom make it as a bookmobile, which is what Thomas Built does. And they still build buses. But we just saw, I guess within, 2 years ago, Rob? We saw I don't know if it was a Bloodmobile or something, but same size, also built by Thomas Built, and it was a bus. So maybe a thought, okay? And I'll get that information for you,
Yes, if
Sue.
you have that information, I think it's a very good thought, and it's nice to have another option, because like I said, with all the research I did on Google, I always thought they were pretty good, with the internet and looking into things, and even looking into a whole list of all the towns in New Jersey where a bookmobile was. There's like less than a dozen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay,
I'll get that for you.
I just want to add
No
a
problem.
comment to that one. Regarding the bookmobile, we're talking, you are talking about what we're also looking at is how to improve the service with the change of the technology. The one that's 30 years old is a way to deliver with the model at 30 years ago. Now with the internet and all those kind of new technology, I believe the committee is looking at how to do it even better. This kind of order and delivery service. So that's probably another
We
factor.
did have the internet on the bus, and we did want in and out books, just like the library.
That means is technology is going to change the way we're going to provide the service to the residents.
Yeah, but if it's just like a library. You don't close your doors to a library just because a lot of people read on the internet or have, easy e-readers. You have a lot of people, and our circulation proved that they wanted a bookmobile because they couldn't either afford, didn't want, or couldn't get to a library because of their work schedules.
They're going to have a van, right? If they cannot arrive at the library, that's even better service. Like you have two vans, one for maybe for south, one for north.
But you're not.
Regarding the
How can you
library, we
get
also
50?
needed to provide maybe 40 years ago, you even don't have computer in the library. Now you have computer, you provided the internet. So, but anyway, I think that we probably needed to give the next person, yeah.
Anthony Dameron, 15 Rodex Circle. First, I wanted to congratulate Joyce on her council win. You'll be missed here. There's still a lot of confusion and dysfunction, I think, on this board regarding certain individuals, and I think it's important you guys get on the same page fast and bring some library people here. But again, I just wanted to congratulate Joyce. Thank you.
Next.
Just to reiterate a little bit what Anthony just said, I watched a few videos of your meetings, and seeing it live, as a resident here, this just doesn't work. I mean, you guys do nothing but argue back and forth. You spend your time wasting time arguing back and forth. I mean, the president's expecting something. You guys are saying he has it. He's saying he doesn't have it. I don't get it. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, really, you guys need to get on the same page, as Anthony said. You know, you're wasting your time, and I just don't get it. I mean, you know, this A to Z list, he's been saying, I've heard that list in multiple meetings. You guys are saying he has a list. He's saying he doesn't. I don't know how you guys can function and get things done. It's just, to me, you know, it's an embarrassment. I mean, if I had somebody else with me that was from another city, they would be like, this is a committee here that in Edison, one of the 5th largest town in the state. I think you guys need to really reevaluate what you guys are doing and how you're going to handle your meetings, because this is just very dysfunctional. And again, to me, I think it's pretty embarrassing. And you guys, I'm sure, you know, everybody on the board here is very intelligent. But you guys just need to be able to work together. And I just don't see it. So I just wanted to make those comments. But I really hope you guys can work together a lot better in the future than what I've been seeing. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Thank you.
Hi, Akhil Malhotra, 6 Eileen Way. First of all, I like to know, like, whenever this bus is coming, we are hearing from like a library bus, like for past 6 months or so. Is there any ETA, or are we still debating 1 or 2 or 3 or 4?
It is all still under discussion at this point, yes.
Okay, so there is no ETA, like we have no idea?
To have a bookmobile on the road?
Yeah.
No, there is not an ETA at this time.
Okay. And do we have like a concrete date, like when we're gonna do it, or we just gonna keep on debating?
We do not have a concrete date on the bookmobile at this time, unfortunately.
So don't we make any budget provision about this mobile bus? And don't we have like a fund aside for that? How we gonna, we just gonna keep on rolling every year? Like, what's the plan? Like?
No, we have a provision. We have the finance we had set aside for that bookmobile at hand. And once our bookmobile committee and the people get together, they'll give us the amount of money and stuff that's needed for the next, for whatever we get, whether we get 2 vans or whatever we get.
Yeah, we did have a bookmobile. However, unfortunately, it was a lemon and we had to send it back.
Yeah, but like since then we do not have anything,
And since then,
right?
we've just been looking at our options and trying to decide what would be the best way to move forward for the people of Edison. And the staff has moved in with their opinions, and we certainly have ours regarding the budgetary aspects of it.
Okay.
So we're still, you know, in that process. And like you had heard me say before, if you were still in the audience, you know, that there weren't that many bookmobile manufacturers in the area.
Mm-hmm.
At least not one that, you don't want to get one that's going to be driven in from California. So now we've made some headway, and that one of our staff members does have some information. We're going to be getting that, and we'll have another report next month.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's good to know. Another question is like, if you look into the agenda, right? Most of the things are like unfurnished business. Like there is nothing about the kids. There is nothing about how much money we're gonna spend on like books or kids activity. It's all about something irrelevant, which is to the library, especially for the parents or the kids. So how do I know like how much money you guys are spending every year on books, like new books especially? Or like how much money you are spending on kids' activities, like that kind of thing?
I believe that's in our report here. It's probably like-
Director's report.
But do you know like how much how much of your budget goes to buying a new books every year?
Yeah, we do have in
Yeah,
our
but it's
budget.
labeled as confidential.
Oh, it's confidential, like
No,
it's
no,
not
no,
even
but
public
this
information, like how much
detailed-
money you are spending?
Detailed, but we do have this information here. I
Okay,
mean,
but
believe
why
we
it's
can probably-
confidential to see like how much money you are putting out of your total budget?
I think that's a very good idea.
The resident's correct. The way it's listed in the current fund budget, where all our departments are broken out by salary and wage, the library is just one line, but you can send an Oprah request in to the clerk's office.
Okay.
And that budget can be provided to you, the breakdown.
But isn't that it should be public, like on the website itself?
It's not required to be that way on the state budget. It's just,
Okay.
it just comes in as one line, but if you send the request in, we can give you the breakdown by account.
Okay, but so I still need to do Oprah? You don't
Yes,
even know?
you
like-
just send an Oprah to the clerk's office, you can do it right online.
Okay, okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next. Nobody said? Okay. So, thank you very much. We will go to the closed session and then we'll come back to the public
Okay.
open session again. So,
Make a motion that we move to closed session.
motion to go to closed
I'll
session.
second that.
Yeah.
I would like to make a motion that we go back into open session.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we were discussing, different people left the closed session, so because of their absence, I will be naming the people that will be working on the non-librarian union contract, and right now would be Suzanne O'Neill, and Lisa Kraus.
And of course, Jane, our director.
Oh, and Jane, our director.
As our director.
As our
She does
director.
have a part of that, and also our attorney.
Oh, our attorney.
Yep, I'm not formally on the committee, but.
Right.
No, but you'll be
still
there.
working,
So
advising us.
say your name,
Ben
sir.
Silvergill, Shane Schaefer.
Your last name is hard for me. Okay, all right. So any other business that we would like to discuss while we're in open?
Do we have to vote on that? The committee, or you
No,
just do it?
no.
Usually
Okay,
just whoever
perfect.
volunteers for it, so.
Great.
All right, do I see a motion for adjournment?
Motion.
All right,
Second.
so pass. All right.
My contact.